Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. I'm your Thursday host, Emma. This week's topic and podcast is going to be a little bit different than the usual. If you're listening to this, that is the only way you are going to be able to consume this podcast this week. I'm not doing a video podcast on YouTube this week, so you will be listening to me in your lovely ears, in your headphones, in your car, when you're driving, or whatever it is you may be doing. Now, this week, I'm kind of going freestyle. I'm kind of going rogue. I'm not going to lie. We're getting into the holiday season. We're getting a little busy. We're just a couple days before Christmas, actually, like a week, actually. So that's really exciting. I'm super excited for the holidays. I'm feeling ready for Christmas, but there's always that little bit of stress that comes along with it. I know lots of people are feeling that sort of stress. Lots of my clients have been talking about it. My family's been talking about it. Trey and I have felt it a little bit. Definitely people are not alone in feeling that little bit of stress and just that little bit of like pressure when it comes to the holiday season. And I think that's something that's interesting because I think about like growing up and think about all the stuff that my mom has to do to get ready for Christmas. Like she hosts Christmas dinner, we host Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, and obviously getting the house ready, getting the tree, getting the presents and getting everything wrapped and all that sort of stuff. It's something that you sort of don't necessarily realize, I guess, especially when you're younger or when you kind of aren't involved in that so much or when you don't have to do any of that on your own. But then definitely when you get older, you kind of have that different perspective on things. And I think a lot of times when I was younger, it was just like, oh my gosh, the tree is up and everything looks lovely and there's fresh things baked and everything's perfect and all this sort of stuff. There's so much holiday joy. And I guess I just didn't even really think about or realize sometimes like the amount of work and stress that goes into that. So I definitely get it. I definitely understand it now and get why people feel stressed around the holidays. It's a stressful time. It's stressful on your finances. It's stressful on planning and just having so much on the go. And sometimes it's stressful for people with certain relationships that they have with their families, or maybe it's a sad time of year for people and you're missing some of your loved ones or things like that. I know for me, Christmas time is sort of a tough time at times as well. If you know me well, you've probably know that I've lost some people in my life that were very important to me. And it's definitely a time of reflection and kind of a little bit of time of sadness, but also joy and just kind of thinking back on past memories that we had and all those sorts of things. So like I said, it is a stressful time of year, but it is also such a good, wholesome time of year and such a, I don't know, like just such a happy and joyful time to be around family and to be around friends and those that you love and keeping up traditions and all those sorts of things. So I really enjoy Christmas. It's definitely one of my favorite times of the year. I feel like each year it seems to be creeping up quicker and quicker. The fact that it's already the 18th of December, my mind is just sort of blown. I'm like, what the actual heck? How did this month go by so fast? And I know a lot of people are feeling that stress, especially people who are busy or moms or that are working a lot. And then you have all this stuff on top of your plate, on top of your everyday things. And I think it's easy to get caught up in the stress of the holidays and the stress of it all and the pressure of everything. But this is also such a good time to really like be present with yourself and be present with your family and be thankful for those things that you do have and be thankful for the opportunities and just the fact that you're able to do these things that you're stressed out running around trying to do every day. But this stress won't last either. And that's why it's such an important time to really double down on your habits, on your goals, and on those things that make you feel your best. Like, this is one of the most important months, I would say. Like a lot of times people just kind of throw this whole month out and sort of just think of it as a wash, or after like the first 2 weeks of the month, it's sort of a wash from there on out with holiday festivities and just being too busy and there's just no time and all those sorts of things. But I know for me in my life, because of the priorities that I set, the lifestyle that I live, like the gym is still a priority to me. My fitness is still a priority to me. Like doing the things that make me feel my best is still a priority to me. It just means that I need to like shift my schedule a little bit and put in a little bit of work in terms of planning and scheduling. And maybe I'm going to have some longer days. Maybe I'm going to be a little bit busier, but having that I guess, sort of underlying drive and that underlying sort of, I guess, drive, yeah, or knowing that it is all for a good reason. And that I just think sometimes that people take this time and let this stress like consume them, when this should be a time that you're able to focus on yourself, that you're able to do those things that make you feel your absolute best. And I'm still doing the things that make me feel my best. Like, I'm still going to the gym. I've actually increased my workouts to 1 extra day each week. So I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. And yeah, I have a few extra things like social things. There's a bit more planning in terms of like doing some shopping and just doing certain things that come along with the holiday season. But that doesn't mean that I can't do those things on top of my everyday schedule that I've been doing and my habits that I do stick to and that make me feel my best. And I think a lot of times just people get it so twisted and think that it has to be one or the other, or this all or nothing mentality or mindset. And it's like, no, just take a look at your schedule at the beginning of the week. I can guarantee you it's really not that tough. Even if you do work 9 to 5, yes, I understand that's different hours. You're going to a job and all those sorts of things. And sometimes people kind of say to me, well, you don't work a 9 to 5 job and like all that sort of stuff. It's like, no, I actually work longer hours than 9 to 5, but that's a topic for another day. So you can fit these things in. It's just about the choices that you're making and what is a priority to you, what is important to you in this time. And I don't think it's a time that we should be letting ourselves slip and letting ourselves fall to the wayside and just letting things consume us, letting the stress consume us. Talking to people, everyone is so stuck in their own head. And it's interesting seeing this because I work with so many people on a daily basis and I get to have these sorts of conversations on a daily basis. And with Trey being in the same field as I am and him having multiple clients and all that sort of stuff too, it's interesting the commonalities that we find in times like this and situations like this, where it's everybody is so stuck and almost like narrow-minded into why their life is so hard, why they don't have time, why they can't make it work, why they don't have the finances. And it's all this sort of like negative side of things and making excuses or reaffirming to yourself why you can't do things when that's actually not the case at all. You can have time to go to the gym, you can have time to go shopping, you can still meal prep your foods, or you can still eat healthier, prioritize healthier foods, or prioritize your protein while going to social events and while having fun and while having a good time, keeping up with all these things. And it's just so interesting to see how stuck people get in their own heads of this sort of victim mentality thing of, oh my gosh, my life is so hard. I haven't picked out gifts for anybody yet. And I have to wrap presents and I have to do this and I have to do that. And it's like, okay, yeah, but so does basically everybody else in the world that's celebrating Christmas right now. If you have everything all ready and planned out and done for Christmas, like kudos to you, because I know there's not many people that are able to do that or are successful in doing that. Of course, everybody wants to be 2 weeks out from Christmas. Everything's done, everything's ready, everything's perfect, but that's not always realistic and it's not always possible for people to do. But I don't think that's a reason for people to get down on themselves and get so stressed out and so in their heads of like, oh my gosh, like my life is so hard because I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. Okay, yeah, you need to go buy your siblings and your parents a present or figure out what you need to get for them for your present. Like, why is that a stressful thing? Shouldn't that be something that brings you joy and makes you happy? And you're like, oh, I'm lucky that I have parents that I get to buy gifts for, or that I have siblings or have friends that I get to celebrate this with. I think a lot of times we just get so stuck in our own heads, and I'm like this too with a lot of things. I get caught up day to day in things where I'm like, oh, like I wish I didn't have to do this, or it's so hard that I have to do this, or I hate that I have to work every single day of the week, or whatever it may be. And it's like, okay, like let's just zoom out a little bit. It's funny, Trey calls this like a Google zoom out. Picture you're on Google Maps, you're zoomed in, you're looking at yourself or you're looking at your house like really, really close up as much as you can. It's all pixely, it doesn't look great. It just looks messy, right? It's like zoom out and look at the continent, look at the country or whatever it is, and just zoom out a little bit and do that with yourself. Think about where you are and what's stressing you out and just kind of like zoom back out a little bit, look at the bigger picture, like look at what it is you're doing every day or what it is you get to be doing every day and what these stressors are that you're feeling. Because I can guarantee you, like if you're stressed about having to figure out or buy gifts for your parents. There is so many people out there that wish that they were in that situation, that wish that they had to figure out what to buy for their parents, or wish that they would get that last opportunity to go see their grandparents for Christmas, or travel to their friend's place, or just spend all this time with family. There's people out there who don't get to do that. And I feel like sometimes we just get so caught up in the negative cycle of things and the poor me and my life's so hard and this is so tough. And so I'm just going to kind of sit in it and sulk in it and not do anything about it, when we are in complete control. We are able to change everything. We are in control of the decisions we make every day. We're in control of our financial situation every day. We're in control. We are in more control than what we think we are. And leaving my corporate 9-to-5 job, I have never felt this more about being in control, because yes, I was that person that was living paycheck to paycheck, was stressed out all the time because I didn't have enough money to do the things that I wanted to do. And I mean, that's all relative, because I did have enough money to do all the things that I wanted to do, but I wasn't fulfilled. So I was spending my money on stupid things like going out and drinking and buying clothes to try to make myself feel better, and doing all these things that I can guarantee you a lot of you are doing to try to find this fulfillment and try to find this thing that you feel that you're missing. And for me, what I was missing is I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't passionate about what I was doing every day. And I can guarantee for so many of you out there, you aren't passionate in what you're doing every day. You're not fulfilled. I never realized that more until I started working downtown at the gym that I was working at downtown. And I would sit in traffic for an hour every morning with all the other people sitting in traffic, going to their jobs. And I would just sit there and look around at all these cars and all these people, and everyone looks depressed. Everyone's pissed off. Like, people are literally smoking darts, and it's like 7 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what are we doing? And I just like felt like I was in this, like a mouse, like on a wheel. You know what I mean? Like, just, all right, here are the robots going into the town to go to the job that they don't want to go to, that they don't want to do, that doesn't fulfill them, that's not going to get them to the financial place that they want to be, and that's not going to end up being what it is that you want in life. And it's not going to be that be all end all. And like, that's okay. That's fine. And some people are okay with that. Some people are okay with settling and going to a job that doesn't bring them joy every day, and that they feel kind of depressed in, and that they just aren't passionate about and don't feel like they're making an impact. And that's how I felt every day. And it wasn't until I got out of that I really, really, really realized how much control I actually had in those situations. There was a good couple years of my life where I was just so poor me, victim mentality of, this sucks that I have to do this. This sucks that I have to do this. Man, like, I'm so pissed off that this happened to me, and blah, 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 blah. The same kind of thoughts and feelings that I know go through so many of your heads on a daily or weekly basis. When you can change these things, you can change how you feel every day. You can change how you're treated every day. If you're not treated well in your workplace, you can change that. If you're realizing that your job is taking so much from you, like, I have a client right now, and I've had clients in the past who get to this point in changing their life, and they're making all these positive changes for themselves, and things are going really, really well in their personal lives. And then they realize, my work is literally killing me. My work is taking so much from me on a daily basis. And I'm not, like, the compensation, whether that's money or whatever it is that you kind of sacrifice to sort of, I don't want to say like weigh the odds, but it's like you make a sacrifice, right? What are you going to endure for what sort of return? You know, and it's interesting because, like I said, this client that I have who is crushing all aspects of her life, like literally thriving right now. And I'm so proud of her. And she's come to this point where she's realized, she's like, Emma, like, this job is literally sucking the life out of me. I can't do it. I'm just expected to do so much, and I don't have people to rely on. I don't have a team for support and all those sorts of things. And those are the sorts of things that you realize about your life and realize about yourself that you're lacking and that you need and that you deserve when you start to make these changes in your life. And it's not just about going to the gym. It's not just about eating healthy. There's so many other changes that come along with this journey. I've had clients leave jobs. I've had clients move provinces. I've had clients break up with boyfriends. I've had clients get divorced from their husbands over things because they realize that they are not being treated and they are not being valued at what they should be. And it's up to you to stand up for yourself, especially as a woman. Like, I'm speaking to a lot of women in this right now, that this is something that you need to take a step back and, like I said, zoom out and think about, am I being treated at my value? Am I accepting something that's below my worth? Or is there something that I can do to change that? Because for years, I was going to a job where I was undervalued. I wasn't treated well. I wasn't treated well as a female compared to other males. I wasn't treated well because of my age and all those sorts of things. And even thinking back to my job before I worked at Good Life, it was the same thing, working at Pro Hockey Life, being one of the only females working there when I was young. Like, that's a whole other story, a whole other situation. But I just didn't at those times value myself high enough or look at myself to a high enough standard, or I guess believe in myself or think that I was worth enough to make those changes at that time, or stand up for myself when something was going on that I didn't agree with, or something was going on that with someone was doing something to me that I didn't agree with or I didn't want to happen, or whatever it may be. You need to make these decisions and you need to make these changes and choices for yourself, but you're not going to be able to realize that you're stuck in the situation or realize that you need to make these changes and make these like shifts and adjustments for the betterment of your mental health, for the betterment of your physical health, and just for the betterment of your life, until you zoom out, until you stop focusing on those day-to-day things that are just bringing you down and causing you to feel so negative and causing you to feel depressed and whatever it is that you're feeling, and just feel low at those points, and zoom out from those and think about what are the things that you can do to change that. Like, I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow. Like, of course, I'm not saying that. You don't have to be drastic and extreme like what I did, but that's what I needed to do for me, because if I didn't make that choice at that time, I don't know what it would have taken for me to make that choice. And looking back, that was the best choice that I have ever done. I can genuinely say now that I am so fulfilled in what I do every day. I wake up every day and I'm excited to do the things that I get to do every day. I literally write down in my journal every morning, like, let me flip it over. It's right here in front of me. So I can just go like 2 pages over. What I get to do today to feel and be my very best. Like, that's how I start my journal every single day, because this is the life that I'm living. This is the life that I've created. This is the life that Trey and I have created. And there's so much more out there for you. There's so much more that you're capable of. And there's so much more that you're able to do. It's tough when you're stuck in it, and it's hard to see until you're kind of on that outside looking in. So that's the point of this episode today, is if you're feeling those feelings, if you're feeling super stressed out and you just really don't feel like you have what you need for yourself, zoom out and think about, what is it that you actually want? What is it that you actually need? And are you getting that? And if you're not getting that, what are those steps that you need to start taking to ensure that you do get this for yourself? Because this will change your life. It will change your life. It may sound corny, it may sound stupid, it may whatever. I don't really care, because I've done it, my clients have done it, and it does change your life. It's not just about going to the gym. It's not just about eating healthy. It's not just about getting abs or having a fat ass or whatever it is. It's about genuinely making changes for your life that are going to make your life better mentally, physically, that are going to make your family's life better, your friend's life better, your partner's life better, your kids' life better, that you can be that role model. And it starts now. I'm 28 years old. Someday I'm going to have a child. Someday I may have a daughter, and I want her to be able to look at me and look at the habits and look at the routines and things that I do for myself and how I hold myself as a woman. And I want her to pick up on those good habits. I don't want her to pick up on maybe some of those bad habits that I had when I was not fulfilled and just trying to be somebody that I wasn't. So I think take a look at what it is that you're doing in your life, if you're genuinely fulfilled, and if you're not, zoom out and think about what those things are that you can do, small steps to change that, to make yourself feel better every day. Because trust me, You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to feel empowered. And you deserve to feel like your very best self every single day. It's possible. I know it's possible because I'm here. I'm feeling these feelings almost every single day. It's very, 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 very rare where I have a day where I'm not feeling confident, I'm not feeling excited, or I'm not feeling happy. And it's because of these lifestyle changes that I've made, and it's because of these choices that I've made for myself. Nobody's going to come and do it for you. You need to do these things for yourself, and you need to make these changes for yourself. And what better time to do it than a week before Christmas? We're just about at the new year. So I hope you all get something from this podcast, resonate with this a little bit. And I hope you all take some time to really think about, like, am I fulfilled? What is it that I'm doing in my life day to day? Are these things serving me? Are they making me feel my best? Or are they sucking energy from me and making me not feel good about myself? Because you have the power to change it. And I'm changing it. I've changed it. So many women that I work with have changed it and are changing it. Trey's clients, the exact same thing. So join into the community of people changing it and making their lives instead of running around on this race for somebody else. You are in control. You are able to change the outcome of your life, of your day, of your week. You just have to empower yourself and take that control and take that ownership over what it is that you can control and can change about your life and positively impact, and do those things. Start with something small. Pick one thing and start there, and start practicing that every single day, and just start there. That's it for another Thursday episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living podcast. Don't you worry, I will be back on YouTube in my next episode. I know you've probably missed my face, but make sure you check out Trey's Monday episodes, and I'll see you next Thursday.